The name of One Punch Man Chapter 199 is That's Right. The cover page features a prepared Flashy Flash and a wide-eyed Speedo Sound Sonic. But to be clear, because of Murata's many redraws, this is the unofficial Chapter 199, so you shouldn't expect the next one to celebrate Chapter 200. Flashy Flash just revealed his plan to bring Gale Wind and Hellfire Flame back with him to the Hero Association. Since they were monsters when Flashy Flash first fought them, he hoped that testing them would bring them closer to finding a way to turn monsters back into people. And if that turned out to be a possibility, that man, the leader of the Heavenly Ninja Party, might just be able to turn back too. He used to be Blast's partner, Empty Void, but at some point, he gained power from God and had one of his cubes. From what we've seen, God is able to take his power back pretty much instantly, and that kills the target, so getting Empty Void back might not be possible. Whatever the case, his minions don't know any of this stuff. They began encircling the hero rapidly as they wondered what he was talking about. Ultimately, they believed that this was just a desperate attempt to confuse them since he has no chance of winning. Brawny Muscle, true to his namesake, didn't understand mind games very well. But as he lifted a bunch of trash, he decided to show his junior ninja how to properly confuse an opponent. Muscle threw the debris high into the air above the others. Even his allies were surprised by the move since their coordination is so awful. This was Stone Debris Release. That call out was enough for the others to know what he was up to. They immediately bolted in different directions. Using the trash as mid-air footholds, the evil ninjas formed constellations above and around their targets. Gale Wind and Hellfire Flame were stunned by the three-dimensional assault. This move was one that only elite ninjas were able to master. In fact, it is the village's most difficult technique. The preceding attacks were harder to defend against. This is sort of like a less impressive version of the three-way mid-air battle between Platinum S, Garo, and Flashy Flash. The most advanced version came from Saitama's fight against Cosmic Fear Mode Garo. Out in space, Sonic mocked them for trying to show off in front of lower ranks, but he also pointed out how terrible their coordination was. Flashy Flash couldn't help but smile when faced by the outdated move. Dealing with something far worse from opponents that were much stronger, all while he didn't have his signature weapon, prepared Flashy Flash enough to make this display trivial by comparison. To interrupt his repelling of their attacks alongside Sonic, Flashy Flash leapt into the air with tremendous force. He blitzed forward in a zigzag from point to point. Vibrating Tremor's eyes went wide. In an instant, he received a flash kick to the stomach that also shattered the clump he was standing on. Multicolored Rainbow and Balanced Equilibrium were shocked, and so was Sonic, whose mouth was now open with awe. But Flashy Flash was only just getting started. He continued his jaunt by doing the same to Insanely Mad and Chaotic Mayhem. Brawny Muscle's jaw hit the floor as he watched their tactic completely backfire. Flashy Flash was actually blocking their movements by crushing the footholds. Muscle's frustration got the better of him. He began to rapidly throw more garbage, but Flashy Flash just ricocheted in his direction. Muscle couldn't understand how Flashy Flash was able to move like this. Then he took a mean kick to the chin. This sent the brute back while Flashy Flash flipped elsewhere. Sonic, Gale Wind, and Hellfire Flame could not believe their eyes. Flashy Flash stuck the landing with a knee. As he sheathed his sword, the many S-Class criminals of the Heavenly Ninja Party crashed down behind him. Flashy Flash called the protein junkie an idiot. He didn't need to learn how to counter them with the village's teachings. The simple fact was that by being strong enough, this sort of thing was simple and just came to him naturally. As Flashy Flash stood there, Sonic couldn't help but shake with frustration. Ultimate strength through speed. Everything Sonic strives to be as a fighter was right in front of him. He just realized that Flashy Flash is the Mario, and he is just number 2, the Luigi. Sonic refused to accept his inferior position. Due to sheer stubbornness and pride, he would not acknowledge Flashy Flash. Violent Force was on his back and bleeding when he asked how much Flashy Flash must have trained to have become so powerful. And this is in line with the village's teachings. When Gale Wind and Hellfire Flame were first defeated by him, they asked the hero what they were missing. His response was that their training was lacking. But now, Flashy Flash dismissed the idea of his power being thanks to training. This was a result of true combat experience. However, he felt the need to add something. It is now his belief that a person cannot become stronger if they cling to their pride. He learned this from his battle against Platinum S in particular. The monster being faster than him was too much to bear at the time, and it is really nice to see that Flashy Flash has grown from his prior experiences. Based on his words, Gale Wind and Hellfire Flame began training diligently after their defeat. But now that he's changed, I wonder if they will too. Either way, the mention of pride hit Sonic like a dagger. For the sake of advancing, he begrudgingly moved towards his old friend's side. With a smile and his arms crossed, Sonic agreed with Flashy Flash, who pointed out that Sonic was now bleeding from both nostrils now. As Flash offered a tissue, Sonic told him to shut up. He claimed that it was an honorable frontal wound. Flashy Flash noticed the frustrated tremors of Sonic's fist. The realization made him smile. He looked at Sonic and said that his fellow ninja seemed to still be growing. Sonic snapped at him for being so full of himself. He told the S-Class hero not to get too carried away just because he's gotten a little bit better than he was back in the day. Galewind and Hellfire Flame just whispered to each other about how ridiculous it was for these two, of all people, to talk about the perils of pride. My fellow Flashy Flash fans, finally, we have been fed yet again. Saitama is so strong that any character that stands too close to him is bound to look goofy. Just look at Genos. The cyborg just keeps getting stronger and stronger. But it's hard to tell since he's always getting thrashed and disrespected. But even if Saitama's breathing is enough to trivialize his feats, we can't forget that Flashy Flash is one of the strongest characters in the series. The Monster Association arc was a traumatizing one for characters like Super Alloy Darkshine. He hasn't been the same since. Meanwhile, many of his fellow S-Class heroes have shown signs of improvement and progress since then. Child Emperor has grown more suspicious of the Hero Association. He's not relying on his former mentor, Metal Knight, anymore, and has started making moves to really change things. Tatsumaki was forced to depend on teamwork, and did so with heroes she considers herself to be much stronger than. Then she got humbled by Saitama while he was wearing Crocs. This has been enough to widen her outlook and shift her approach a bit. Atomic Samurai got dog-walked by Black S. Not to mention, his heroic rival Bang retired. Atomic dramatically increased his own power by unleashing the Sunblade, but still needs to master it. And after trying to challenge King, he witnessed a level of swordsmanship well beyond his own that he plans to pursue. Speaking of King, he actually wants to become stronger now. Just like Zombie Man, who was inspired to try and break his limiter thanks to Saitama's performance. Drive Knight gained a bunch of battle data, along with Nyan, a disaster-level dragon monster to be experimented on for the sake of creating new weapons. Similarly, Genos has a new, upgraded form that let him incinerate a disaster-level dragon monster with ease. Overall, everyone was pushed to their limits and have mostly improved as a result. And hopefully this short break from his own delusion will give Sonic a chance to get stronger too. This one was still a bit of a shorter chapter, but thankfully it is longer than the last few. Let me know what you guys think about the last One Punch Man chapter of 2023 in the comments. As always, I'm Slice of Otaku. Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.